Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Pitch Pod. We've had some exciting matches here at the World Cup. Super excited about it. I'm your host, Jeff Stebbins. Join with me, as always, today, my co-host, Mr. Spectacular, Joe Janner. Joe, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, wow, definitely spectacular in a sense. I'm as excited as you are about what we've been witnessing in this World Cup. So always, happy to be here. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, the World Cup has just been, I think last week you mentioned yo-yo with all the ups and downs that we see in soccer, but especially during these most recent matches that have been happening at the World Cup. So you want to kind of take us through kind of the significant games that maybe our viewers have missed?
For sure. I think with the result in terms of us looking at some of these bigger teams already out of the contest, I think you can't not mention Mexico, even though with the win, the way they fell into the table, they're out. I think that's something worth mentioning. Again, a kind of similar instance, Germany, again, winning today, but still not enough to go through. They're out. And probably, I don't know if it's the most, but as a lot of people were somewhat surprised, is also Belgium, in a sense, also in a draw with Croatia, not going on to win. And just, wow, you look at these teams that I think a lot of us picked at least go through, whether they were going to be winners in the group, I don't know, but a lot of us that picked them to go through are already on their way home, in a sense. So I think some of those results and some of those outcomes where we're at now, I think is worth mentioning to those that are viewing and listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As you mentioned, you don't expect Mexico, Germany, Belgium to be out this early, and really the United States to still be in it. I think a lot of people were thrown off that filled out their brackets and were just kind of relying on what they had heard and on the news and just looking at FIFA rankings and just going by that. And that's kind of what makes soccer such a great sport is anything can happen. You don't know. So it kind of creates this element of, the unexpected.
Absolutely. And I think rather than focus on the negative, we should be focused on the positive at the Pitch Pod in the sense that USA goes through. And Jeff, I have to tell you, I think you nailed it, right? You predicted the 1-0 win versus Iran, and you are, man, just continue to push yourself up to the top of the table as far as the Pitch Pod goes in predictions. Another perfecto for you. Well done. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I'll take the compliment. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was quite a match. The U.S. Iran match. Hopefully, everyone had a chance to see it. A lot of action going on. Joe, do you mind kind of recapping the main events for those that might have missed it?
For sure. I mean, you can't not mention the fact that when it counted, when it was needed, Christian Pulisic with the goal to go ahead late in the first half. I mean, he goes down, he's hurt, he's injured. I think the word is now that he's more than willing and more than ready to go into the second match, but the next match. But I think that it's worth it when it counted. Again, when it counted, when it was necessary, needed, the guy came through. And I think that's a huge part of what the expectation was for not only himself, but this team is if it was going to come down to a must get it done type of situation, ball comes in, he's there, whatever it takes to get the ball in the back of the net. That's the one goal they needed. That's it. Good first half. Going into the second half, a little shaky, not so, he comes off and there's a noticeable difference there in the second half. I think there's just, again, something about him being in that lineup in the squad playing that gives USA a little bit of a fervor in a sense of what they need to do and get it done. So, but at the end of the day, at the end of the match, they held on to win. They advanced into the round of 16, ready to face the Netherlands side this upcoming match.
Yeah, absolutely. I was definitely happy to see Berhalter come out initially in a 4-3-3. I thought, being the fact that we had to win this game, it made sense to come out aggressively. And then second half, as you said, it was noticeable that Pulisic wasn't in the game, and it was a little scary at times. But I liked that we were a little bit more defensive, being up one. And so I liked what Berhalter did in that respect. I would have definitely liked to have seen Reyna in the mix. A couple times our attackers, either when Pulisic was out, there was just not a whole lot of creativity up at the top, or some kind of mishandling of some opportunities. So, would he have made a big difference had he been in? Maybe Jesus. I keep harping on him just because I think he is a potential future talent that could help us. And so I'd be kind of interested to see maybe instead of 1-0 and just getting by in that last match, maybe we get by 2-0 and kind of get some momentum going into this next match.
And I agree with that. I think that's what we would all like to have seen. I think, in fact, they get the win, they go on. Yes, well done. That's where we need to be at the end of the day. That's what we're trying to achieve. But I think there is something to the desire to want to see a little bit more dynamicism or dynamic performance. And a player like Reyna could have provided that. And wasn't a decision that was made. So we all are still, you and me, Jeff, and everybody else, what's the deal? Whereas Reyna, is it something that we don't know without getting too far into speculating into the business end of things? But I think there's something to be said about that decision. Aronson went in, didn't quite. I mean, maybe that was his game that was a little bit over him. I don't want to be too critical on a player. I don't want, especially in a win, especially when we're going on into to face Netherlands. But then you're at the same token, you're looking to see, well, what is the plan to beat a team that I think I'm going to go on a limb and say that we can and should beat. But it's going to definitely take a lot more than what we've seen the last 3 games, performance-wise, goals-wise, result-wise, to get through. So, yeah, I'd be interested to see what Greg puts out there for a starting lineup with basically what he has to work with. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising since he already made a big decision, a big change, unexpected, and since Carter Vickers in the center back role to start. So then maybe there's something up his sleeve as far as a Jesus is getting the start into this game. That's something different. If you're trying to play the other side, wondering they're already seeing what we have out there, maybe that they are, there's no way that Jesus sees himself in the game, so they can't anticipate that. So maybe that's an edge or a way to go about putting themselves in an advantageous position to do what they need to do, because I do really think it's going to be a tough match. We want USA to win. Jeff, where are you with that as far as what we're going to do or what we can do?
Well, I think you're right. I think, obviously it's positive, the outcome, and so I need to focus on the positive here. I do want to briefly mention, I think while I was a little bit, not super excited with how the game turned out, despite the win, it's just because the attack, again, once Pulisic was out, it just seemed like there was nothing happening up top. And Weah and Sargent in particular, I just feel like we need results. And so that's where some of my disappointment comes from. But, being positive about it and the outcome, I do want to give a hats off to, our keep. Turner did great. Ream, center back, stepping up. The veteran coming through. He was ready to go. And then, of course, Pulisic, putting his body on the line, our captain. So he showed a lot of leadership in that role. So, it looks like he's going to be healthy enough to play in the next match. And so that's more positive news. And I'm just going to look ahead and hope for the best with this upcoming match against the Netherlands. And they're a solid team, as you know. What are some of the threats that the Netherlands have as we look to play them in our next match?
I think mostly the threat is the team themselves and the way that they go about what they do. And for me, what it is I hate to put the label slow on it, but I'd rather put a label of methodical in a sense that I think they know exactly what they're doing. I think that's what makes them dangerous in a sense facing a team like the USA, and that they'll have a game plan. They'll be well rehearsed, well planned, well trained in what they're going to do and what they're going to try to achieve from this. And why it may look to the eye slow, I think there's some method to what they are trying to present as far as a performance for the team. So I think what you're going to see is them being comfortable and confident on the ball, possession, creating chances, and when they're there, they'll finish. And so if our defense continues to step up and perform at the level it has over the group stage, I think we'll be fine. I want more so, I know, again, for the USA to be of attacking mindset themselves and to be able to score. Otherwise, I think this could be something that gets drawn out into extra time. Not to jump too much into my initial prediction, but I think that at the least, I'll go on to say that this is going to be something that's going to go into extra time. I think I could see easily in regulation, whether it be 0-0, 1-1, go into extra time, and does it go on to a winner within there? I don't know. I'm already predicting, though. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there, Jeff. 1-1 in regulation. We go into penalties. USA victorious in penalties.
Well, I'd tell you what, that would be one heck of a match. That would be a dramatic and exciting finish that I would definitely love to see. So I hope you're right. As we said, I think Pulisic will be back in the lineup and contributing a lot as he did in the previous match. I don't expect to see a whole lot of other lineup changes at this point. It'll be interesting to see what Berhalter does with our back line, our center backs throughout the match, but I'm not expecting any dramatic changes. I think he kind of sticks to the game plan that's been working, or working well enough to advance, I should say. But my prediction, I hate to say it.
Don't say it,
Joe.
Say it ain't so, Jeff. I think I know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going. A lot of people, with the surveys that have already been done, and if you look at the rankings and just you look at it on paper, you got to give the nod to the Netherlands. They're such a solid team, and there's a reason most people are picking them to win this match. Having said that, it is soccer. Anything can happen. I think Team USA, has the talent to play with any team for the most part. So I'm not counting them out by any means. But my prediction, unfortunately, does give the nod to the Netherlands beating USA 2-1 to advance to the next round. I hate to say it.
Okay.
But there it is.
There it is. Right? And is that a 2-1 result in regulation time, or is that going on to extra time as I suggested, or is it going to be 2-1 after 90 minutes?
I think it's going to be 2-1 after 90 minutes. Okay. Again, it hurts to say that. I want to see USA go as far into this as possible, but I gotta go with my what makes the most sense to me. So I hope for the best, but I'm going to go with 2-1, giving the nod to the Netherlands.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Coming up this match this weekend here Central Standard Time, it'll be a 9 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be looking forward to that.
That's right. Early morning Saturday, but it's going to be worth getting up for. So hopefully everyone at home is excited and is sure to set their alarms and wake up early Saturday morning and watch this game. As always, please like, subscribe, and keep pitching out there.
In a game, the round ball, round posts, anything can happen.